Hello everyone, this is Reasons to Play, and it's been a bit since I did my last Reasons to Play episode. Now, the Spyro series is my next project that I'm currently working on, but it's going to take a while. It's an RPG I've never played before, and I'm covering the series, so it's going to take a bit, but I am working on it. And until then, a certain purple dragon and an orange marsupial recently got their anniversary. And I mean, Crash Insane Trilogy has done a fantastic job, and I'm sure people would love it if Spyro the Dragon got a remake from Activision. Now, some of you or may not know that Activision had briefly mentioned that they did want to work on other IPs, and they did mention the original Spyro the Dragon series. I do think they're going to work on it, but still, this is just speculation. They've talked about it, we don't know anything else at the moment. For them, they did say they also want to do CTR, and that's most likely going to come first. That's all fine and dandy, but I want to show some love to the purple dragon because I actually grew up with Spyro and Crash at the same time. So I was lucky to experience both these amazing gems. So with that said, guys, I've got 5 reasons to play the original Spyro the Dragon on the PS1. So let's get started.
Number 1. Spyro. Spyro is the youngest dragon, representing you as the kid playing as him. He's very confident and has no interest in listening to most of the adult dragons that ramble on.
Keep up the good work, Spyro. I expect Nasty's really starting to worry about you.
I'd be shaking in my Nork boots if I were him.
Even though he is the youngest though, he's fully capable and can take out the main boss, Nasty Nork. The adult dragons are stuck in crystals, so Spyro is the only one to save them since he was too small to get hit. Spyro is a funny character, but he can still save everyone despite still being a child. In short, he's a badass with an attitude. He's also pretty funny, but you shouldn't underestimate him.
Thanks for releasing me, Spyro. You have no idea how long I've been trapped in crystal. And, neither do I. Who are you again?
I'm out of here.
That was quite a ride, Spyro. You've learned a lot since you were a young glider.
Yeah, well, you could have found an easier spot to get stuck.
Number 2. The Adventure. Number 1 sort of leads into this, honestly. It kind of brings the whole package together. Remember, this isn't particularly in any order, but you are in a magical world, a fantasy world filled with dragons, fairies, and sheep that drops butterflies. Wait, what? There are 6 different worlds to explore, each with their own unique theme, from the artisans' homes to the peacekeepers' world, the wizardry of the magic crafters' world, to the murky swamp that is Beastmaker's world. A little dragon going on an amazing adventure, flaming and charging into enemies while collecting the gems is a fun platforming experience. Saving the dragons and listening to some funny dialogue.
Wow! I never thought I'd be rescued, especially by such a little dragon. What I mean is, I always believed in you, Spyro.
You gotta believe!
To glide into hidden areas within the level to find treasure. Spyro isn't particularly a hard game, but for what it is, it's very fun. Spyro has 2 attacks. The flame by pressing the circle button, and the charge by pressing the square button. Both on which are very satisfying taking out enemies. Some you can only flame, and others have armor, so you can only use the charge instead. Some enemies even taunt you, so it's even more satisfying taking them out. Spyro can jump and glide, not fly since he is still young, which they like to state. However, you can go to speedways where you learn to fly. The controls, they're not the best, but they're not terrible. They work well enough in my opinion, and I do still enjoy doing the speedways. Just like spinning into enemies in Crash is satisfying, I think flaming and charging Spyro is just as great. Your main MacGuffin is the dragon gems that are scattered around the levels and enemies drop too. Spyro is more for exploration. The worlds are pretty big, or should I say the levels within the worlds are pretty big and open, meaning Insomniac also like to put gems in hidden places, so they expect you to glide around, and it's also very satisfying to fly to an area that you didn't know immediately and find perhaps a dragon or a gem or even a dragon egg, because there's also dragon eggs that you can get by defeating the thieves that are running around as well that also taunt you, and I'll never forget that sound. Come here, you bugger! Oh yeah! Take that! Flame up your backside! If you are more for collecting and platformers, I think Spyro is right up your street. But the good thing is, you don't even need to get everything to beat the game. But if you do, you get a cool ending, Spyro with shades. I mean, yeah. Think about it. Number 4. Humor. Some of the dragon's dialogue is just straight out funny to me, and Spyro's attitude and reactions to them just fits his personality perfectly.
I'll tell you what to do with those creatures. Smash them, Spyro! Stamp them out and squish them and squash them!
How about charge them and flame them? We are dragons after all.
He's a kid dragon, you know, confident but has a lot to learn, as the dragons will try to tell you. Spyro also doesn't really care at times, and as a kid you can probably relate.
After you freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex thingamajigger, it'll take you back to the artisan home. But first let me tell you a story.
No thanks. See ya.
Not only that, the game itself has funny moments. Spyro's health is by the dragonfly that follows you around named Sparks. When you hit some animals, such as sheep, they drop butterflies for health. Well, what if the sheep wanted to get revenge and ends up being the first boss of the game? What if you flame the cactuses in Dry Canyon? The enemies and peacekeepers even moon you? And some enemies are just suicidal. I know I shouldn't laugh here, but the yelling was always funny to me. Basketball with sheep? Basketball? Number 5, the soundtrack. I will admit I don't really listen to the soundtrack too much outside the game, but even so, I would probably say Spyro 1 is still my favourite out of the 3. It's a bit hard to say at times. I do like tracks here and there from 2 and 3, but I think overall I prefer to listen to 1. For what I hear, they sound great. Ironically, my favourite is the title on the credits, but I also enjoy tracks such as Alpine Ridge from Magic Crafter's World. Some tracks are upbeat and catchy, and then there's others that are just quiet and tranquil. You know, really relaxing to listen to. I really actually like the theme that plays in Nasty Nork's lair. It gives off that feeling that, hey, you're in the boss's territory now. This is where things get serious. Can Spyro do it? Can he save the Dragon Kingdom? I also love the sound effects, actually. It's very, like the crunching sound effects you get for when you spin into crates in Crash Bandicoot. You've got like the gem collecting, which also sounds great, flaming and hitting the enemies. The sound that they make is all so satisfying. And what about this track? Oh wait, no, better not play that one. That sounds too similar to the Amanda theme song. Did you know that one? Let me know below.
And there you have it. Those are my personal 5 reasons to play original Spyro the Dragon. Now, of course, I do have my problems. I mean, what game doesn't have problems? The controls I do think are better in the later games. But for a starter game, I actually think Spyro the Dragon was stronger than Crash Bandicoot. For those of you who know about Crash Bandicoot or even played it in the Insane Trilogy, the game is very hard. It was designed that way, but they improved it and toned it down in the later games. Spyro the Dragon wasn't really a hard game. It was a decent challenge, but I never felt like I super really struggled in the game. I actually just really enjoyed it. I love going through all the worlds and exploring and just flaming enemies. The whole thing was just so satisfying playing through the game, and I loved collecting everything, and I did 100% all 3 games. So I would love to see a remake for, I mean, even if it was just the first game, just to see what it would be like, and perhaps if it had like the controls from 3, which I actually do mention people a lot, like 3 or 2, because they're very similar, and that would be amazing. But 3 is still my all-time favourite, and it would kind of feel weird to not do 2, so a trilogy just like Crash Bandicoot, I think exactly what Activision needs to do, because I do think there's a big fan group for Spyro just like there is for Crash. I do hear a lot of people who either play Crash and not play Spyro, and vice versa. So I'm curious to know, guys, let me know in the comment section below if you have played both of the series. Which one do you prefer though? Crash or Spyro? And you're probably thinking, why not both? That's totally an option. But I also want to see what you guys think, if you actually do prefer one or the other, to get a bit of discussion in the comment section below. But that's it. I'm sure I will cover Spyro 2, Gateway to Glimmer, or Ripto's Rage if you're in the US. And I'm sure I'll cover Spyro the Dragon at some point as well, because that is still my favourite. It's kind of a close between 1. I like 2, but there's things I don't like about 2, so I would say it's kind of like 3, 1 and then 2. That's not to say 2 is a bad game, it's just that, well, I've got my issues, and I'm sure when I get to it, I'll eventually let you guys know. Hopefully this remake might be coming out in 2018 or maybe 2019, we don't know. Hopefully it actually happens, because again, they might have mentioned it, but we still don't know for sure anything concrete. I think we have to wait to see how CTR does, because I do think that's definitely going to happen. And then hopefully the Purple Dragon will get some love, just like the Orange Marsupial did. All I can say is, guys, thank you so very much for watching. And if for whatever reason you're still not convinced, if you've not played any of the Spyro the games, or if you've not played the original Spyro the Dragon game and you're still not convinced, you need to like the comment #NotConvinced in the comment section below. And if we get 10 likes, I will have no choice but to do a counter argument, 5 reasons not to play the original Spyro the Dragon. But you wouldn't do that, would you? It's a great game, why would you do that? But if you're not convinced, you know what to do. It has to be 10 likes before I reach that goal there, and then I will definitely do it. But other than that, let me know your thoughts on the video. Hope you've enjoyed. #UnleashTheDragon. Take care, guys. Until next time.